Thank you for joining us on the Wichita Real Producers Beyond the Pages podcast. We are live in Trestle Media Studios here with the incredible Troy Trestle. So Troy produces our podcast, and he also creates exceptional videos for a lot of professionals and clients, especially realtors here in the Wichita area. So if you're interested in starting a podcast, or you're looking for some high quality branding video to live on YouTube, then look no further, because Troy is your guy. He is a master storyteller, and he will definitely bring your video or your brand to life. So I'm Samantha Lucciarini. I'm your host here of the Wichita Real Producers podcast. We've got preferred partner Blake Pearson Balake of Wheat State Insurance. And then we also have his realtor guest, Rhonda Lanier. So thank you both for joining us today. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about insurance and friendships, relationships, some interior architecture things, maybe a little bit of jets, that kind of thing, and everything in between. So on that note, Blake, start us out. Tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about Wheat State, and why you invited Rhonda.
It's a lot of questions.
I know. You can just tell us, just talk about anything. I don't care.
Let's just talk about Rhonda first.
Okay.
Rowdy Rhonda.
Yes.
I was new to Derby
when
I moved from my previous employer.
Mm-hmm.
And Rhonda was somebody that just kept popping up as far as realtors and people
in that area,
some business in that area and everything else. And I don't remember what the first time we teamed up was, but sometimes things are just easy.
Yeah.
And then you trust the person, and we've gone back and forth with different business ideas or putting on events. We did a truck cancer event last year.
Okay.
I just feel like it's grown. And Jacob was part of that, I think.
Right. A mutual friend of ours kind of brought us together.
Yeah.
He was a client of mine, a family friend. His whole family I've helped out. And he started working with Wheat State, and Blake was mentoring him.
Okay.
And then he had a business opportunity somewhere else pretty quickly, actually. Yeah. So he was like, Blake's your man. Like, use him, dive in. And so that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Aren't you related in some way?
I am now.
My
daughter married into their family.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. The Jenkins family is a dangerous family to be.
All right.
Well, they're a lot of fun. They are a lot of fun. Yeah.
I like that. So tell us a little bit about Wheat State Insurance. What sets you apart? Let's talk about your fearless leader, Kenton. Why would someone use Wheat State?
Well, Kenton's the man, first of all.
He is. He's great.
Going from a big corporate agency, I would say, to the independent line with knowing Kenton, just having a few people there, it's more personal. You're closer. You don't have some of the other headaches you would have in a bigger agency. But Wheat State, I know we set ourselves apart in one way is we don't accept minimums. In other words, we're not going to write the lowest, cheapest premium we can get you and just assume you do well with it.
Okay.
We have certain standards that we reach. And we've been through huge transition the last year. Remodeled at our place.
Yes, it's beautiful. We had a happy hour there. It was great.
Yes, it was. He moved me to GM, which has been an ongoing transition. And
sure.
We're always looking
a lot of
at
learnings.
Things. A lot of learning. I think it takes my best attributes as a coach.
That's right.
And I'm able to help other people. But I mean, we're still in the customer-based world.
That's right. Relationships, trust.
Clients, and that's something there's just certain things he won't move on or won't budge on, and it's clients first, clients always. We'll go against carriers if we need to support our client if the client's right. Obviously, if they're wrong, you got to have hard conversations sometimes. But just the standards he set in what he's going to allow and what he's not going to allow. And then when somebody like Rhonda sends us somebody outside of our latest panic and disorganization mode, we're there for you. And it is. Everything's lining up. We're starting a new training program, which was pretty rare in our industry. There's not in our industry. The captives they actually do a good job of training, I think, and teaching. But for independents, it's something that's just not out there, not something easily accessible. How do you recruit? How do you bring that person in? How do you train them to have 10 different carriers?
Right. Yeah, you got to know all of those carriers pretty well to be able to serve your clients really well.
There's a lot that goes into it. And so when we recruit somebody, we've tried to just run it and teach what we do quickly, and it's not enough. You know what I mean? So I'd say insurance kind of like Spanish. If you don't know it, you don't know it. It doesn't make sense. So we've got a consultant in now who's amazing, and he's kind of setting us up with some training, looking at step-by-step stuff. And if we can develop that, I think we take what Kenton did in 10 years of growing a book to a good portion, and we double it in the next 5.
That's fantastic.
That's the idea.
Well, you already answered one of the questions, so good job. I was asking
Thank
what
you.
the 5-year goal. That's okay.
I
We'll
knew that.
circle
I
back.
might have saw that.
Yeah, that's okay. No, that's fair. So Rhonda, let's talk to you a little bit, and then we'll come back for some more questions. Talk to us about your entrance into real estate. Were you always passionate about it? What were you doing before, which I find really fascinating, because I think there's a lot of parallels there. So let's tell the audience a little bit about that.
So when I moved to Wichita, I actually started working at Cessna Aircraft Company as a designer for single engine aircraft and Citation fleet eventually. So I worked with the Citation jet clients that would come in and help them.
How fun. Gosh, that'd be so fun to see
spec
those
out
things.
their airplane. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of project management involved in that. And that was something I learned at K-State during my degree program. And then I utilized it very well there. I ended up marrying my husband now, Dave, and he's also in aviation. So as you fast forward, I spent 15 years at Cessna and then another 5 at 2 other suppliers for aviation, and we both decided together that maybe it's good for one of us to get out of aviation. And I'd always loved just kind of working on homes. And we had always talked about it'd be great to have some rental properties. And so the conversation evolved, and I spoke with Amy Preister, who had helped us with 3 other houses. And she's like, I really want you to join my team.
Yes.
And I was like, well, I just want to do rentals. And she's like, no, you have what it takes to do it. So I was like, okay, I took a leap of faith.
Yeah. You believed in her belief in you before you had it in yourself.
Being desired will get you every time.
Yeah.
I love that.
Absolutely. So I jumped in with both feet, and the water went over my head very quickly.
I bet.
The first year was a huge challenge, and right at my breaking point is when things started opening up.
There you go. It tested you.
It did.
That's wonderful. What year was that you went full time into real estate?
2017.
Yeah. So you got a few years of some really good, strong, normal market, if you will.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Right.
Before the craziness hit.
Before the craziness,
Yeah.
right. Spring break, March of 2020.
Yes.
I still remember a phone call I had that week with a client who was getting ready to list their home, and they called me and they said,
This is too scary.
well, do we still list?
Yeah.
That was the question.
Yeah. What do you do? Do you still do these normal life things?
Right.
Yeah.
And so we talked through it, and
Did they?
yeah,
Okay.
they did.
Perfect.
They did, and bought a house that they absolutely love on a couple acres, and
Good for them. Got away from everybody just in the nick of time.
right,
I love that.
Right, it was good timing for them for
That's
sure.
wonderful. See, I think that's a great story. I like that. And I just think it would be fascinating to be helping design jets, but you're still working with high-end things, really personalized, a lot of emotion in those, those buying.
Then you got to sell your baby after all the work.
I got to.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is that Amy enjoyed and didn't enjoy working with Dave and I when we were buying houses, because every house we walked through, we found potential in. And she's like, you can't like every house.
Oh, that's funny. And it's usually the opposite. Usually clients cannot see the potential.
Right.
They need turnkey. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I like to do with my clients. If I know kind of what their end goal is, and we have a house that is 8/10 of the way there, we talk about the easy things that can get them all the way there as we're walking through it. And I can see that vision and maybe help bring it into their vision. And then they can decide, no, that's too much work for what I want to do, or I can handle that.
Yeah. What a great attribute. And I love Amy. Amy's our cover girl this month.
Yes, such a great photo.
Such a great photo. I know, really captures her personality. Okay, Blake, what does a typical day in insurance brokerage look like for you?
Right now, it's crazy.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Well, remarkets, reshops. The advantage is we can look at other carriers. So if your home and auto go up above 10% or $200, we're going to red flag it and we're going to shop it with our other providers again.
So we don't even have to worry about doing that on our own when we're
That's the
clients.
thing,
And
yeah.
that's beautiful.
A lot in this, the market's changing. Younger people want that. I don't want to know about it. I need somebody I trust, and just let them do it.
Yeah, I'm not going to read these 20 pages of my policy. Just make sure that you've got me covered.
Right. And the more you do that, then you gain the trust and everything else. But there's also, which I love, is, I started out doing the set the kitchen table stuff and going through everything step by step, very slow process. Then you go back to the office, back room, then you go back out and you meet with them again. And it builds that relationship as part of it too.
Yeah.
So some of our more mature clients still like to do that. So they'll come in, or, you know, we might have to go out to their house or whatever. But for the most part, it is, I mean, I could go through 20 reshops a day and there's 20 more ready for tomorrow. I mean, it's a nonstop deal. And that's part of our systems we're creating to make sure we're getting the right people in the right places to make this a profitable mix of taking care of the clients we have.
Yeah. And making some profit.
Getting some new ones, making some profit. So,
and staying proactive. And I think that is how you're going to build trust and loyalty. And that's how it's going to be so easy for realtor partners and anybody else to refer, like, oh, well, they got my back. You know, they proactively found, you know, a cheaper rate for me. And I didn't even know. I didn't even think to reevaluate what I was paying in my risk management. And it's
lenders
fantastic.
and realtors are priceless to us. I mean, if you can create a relationship and they trust it and they know we're going to do our part.
That's right.
And we're going to put in the best situation we can. And I tell people, like, I was never going to be a salesperson. I'm not a good salesperson. I want to be a teacher and coach like that.
Yeah, that's your passion.
But I found a way. Like, I don't love insurance, but I like helping people. So it's
just a tool to do that.
And insurance agents, how many times I'm not even going to say who, I always hear say it, but I mean, it's like, we're used car salesmen, we're this, or we're scum, you know, and if you're just helping people doing the right things.
That's right.
You got to change that, because I know some people think that, but
that's okay. I mean, some people think that being a realtor is really easy and that realtors get paid too much, and that's a myth, right? Like that's not the case, and that's
they get the same thing. You can take percentages off, right? You don't have to make as much, or can't you just make my premium lower? No.
It comes with the price. This is a pay to play for.
And there's some actuaries that I can't tell you how they come up with numbers, but we don't.
They're a lot smarter than us with numbers, so we'll just leave that alone. Well, that makes sense. I know. Okay, so what is the craziest insurance story that you could share?
I mean, I was thinking about that. In my 15 years? So there are some funny ones, but the Andover tornado blew me away. Yeah. And it was a great experience for me and my daughter, Izzy, who just turned 10. So I explained to her, one of my very good friends, just bought a property out there, and it was very expensive property. Yeah. 7,500 square foot property. Nice. And I took my daughter out there Saturday morning. We drove through Andover a little bit, went to some other clients, and we went out there.
Last April, right after the tornado? Yeah.
And she had her iPad, and she was documenting everything, and then she was going to go back to school and present it, and it was cute. But this place, I mean, they had 150-year-old trees. Oh, gosh. It was immaculate. Gone. I mean, you saw there were a few building pieces. Mm-hmm. I mean, stones, like 8x6 stones is what this house was built from. Mm-hmm. And you couldn't find one. They were gone. And it was just for my daughter to be able to see that. I said, you're never going to see this again in your life.
That's right. I did the same thing with my son and his friend the next morning.
It doesn't happen often. And then the chance that, this thing went straight through the house. And there was a guy working there at 2 a.m., I think, and he barely got out. Like he heard sirens. He went outside, kind of looked up, and it was behind the house. And he got struck and drove down the pasture and ran from it. Yeah. But if he didn't come out right then,
would have been gone. Mm-hmm. But you see that and you think, God, I hope these people were well insured. Yep. I mean, you hope they're alive.
Yep. They were out of town. You hope
they're well insured.
They were in Florida. He flew right back. But it also is a chance for us to, they say, I only talk to my insurance agent once or twice a year.
Yeah. When things are bad.
It's not that we're not working. Like, I'm talking to thousands of people once or twice a year. You know what I mean? But when something like this happens, it gives us a chance to kind of say, this is why you have us, why you pay us. And this guy, I mean, he's happy as can be with the rebuild and things they're doing out there. And it's given me insurance in that company. Like, I know now if I recommend this company, claim time, you're going to have not just an average result, but you're going to actually
they've got your back. Yeah, the insurance is going to do exactly what it's meant to do.
And that's what, powerful. Sometimes we're going on somebody's word. If I've never dealt with a claim from another company,
you don't know what you're getting into.
You don't know until you really go.
But you're there to fight that fight, so we don't have to know anything about it.
That's the goal. But I mean, just taking my daughter through that and seeing this house just devastated. I mean, this tree root was out of the ground and pulled over, and it was the size of a swimming pool almost. I mean,
Wow.
It went straight through it. And then I had some other clients around there, and it was just, so I don't know what the question was exactly. Crazy story.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. It's hard to beat a tornado.
When you actually see the devastation that it can do, it's incredible.
It's a good reminder to be well insured on all fronts. Yeah, I would agree. Okay, very good. All right, Miss Rhonda. So tell us a little bit about what real estate looks like for you now, and how would you describe the market? Like I said, you've had a couple of years before it got crazy. So talk to us about that.
The market is really changing quickly. It's almost on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We thought that things were starting to level out and even out.
Yeah.
Last weekend, several people on our team talked about just how active and crazy it was starting to get again.
So what does level out, or that? Where's that to then the crazy?
So level out meaning you can actually negotiate between a buyer and a seller and come to a common ground.
So it's not just outbidding anymore.
Yeah, they're not out. They're not paying 20 grand over.
Right,
they're actually getting appraisals and home inspections and doing repair requests again. That kind of it, like more just normal cadence of the process. I think.
It's like you've hung out with realtors before.
I know. So I just repeat what I hear now.
But we're seeing evidence as long as a home is priced correctly, that there's going to be a lot of activity on it, and buyers still have to be pretty aggressive. The challenge with that is buyers in our area have been listening to national newscasts.
Hate national news
regarding the real estate market.
It's fake news.
So
it does not apply to Wichita.
It doesn't. And so they're expecting to try and find a deal. And then sellers are on the other side. They've been seeing what the market was doing 6 months ago. So they're not just saying, well, my neighbor down the street sold for $30,000 over, so I'm going to go $50,000 over for what you said. Yeah. And so there's this, in some cases, not all, there's this huge separation. So it's what I tell all of my clients right now, it's a case-by-case basis. So some of these homes are going to go under contract in a couple days and they're going to get multiple offers. Others are going to sit because maybe they're overpriced for what they are offering to a buyer. So it's harder to give good advice right now because each home is different. So you can't just give general advice, in my opinion.
Not anymore.
No.
It's still, I think, very much a seller's market if everything has been done right and you're in good hands. And
Right.
There's
And you're priced appropriately for the market, and you let the buyers bring that price point up. You don't inflate it where you think buyers should bring it up to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because right now with interest rates so high, relatively speaking, that they're already probably at their top of their budget. And with interest rates double what they were, 12, 18 months ago, it's, their budget changes on the kind of house that they can buy. Exactly. And if you overprice that, you are not doing anyone a favor.
Right. You're changing your whole buyer pool.
That's right.
So if you're looking at a $200,000 purchase, or you were pre-approved for $200,000 at a 6% interest rate, your approval at a 7% interest rate drops to $180,000, for example.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different buyer market.
Yeah. It doesn't behoove you to overprice the house.
Exactly.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. It's a good one.
Shout out though.
Yes.
If you're anybody you know is looking for a house up north in Valley Center.
Yes.
Neighbor's house is going up like for tomorrow, I think.
Okay.
Friday maybe.
Valley Center is a sought after place, right? Because of the schools.
I think 325 range, something like that.
Yeah. I imagine that's a pretty hot price right now.
Yes.
Neighbors are cool.
Well, that's subjective. By the time that this podcast hits, because we're recording right now on International Women's Day.
Best day of the year.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you, Blake. It'll be a couple weeks down the road, so I imagine it'll
be under contract.
Yeah, you'll know your new neighbors pretty soon.
At least she knows now, so she can sell.
I can't.
That's right. Yeah, go get them.
I'm gonna go call.
I guess you'd be a
right
buy.
now.
Go get them. Outside of work, Rhonda, what do you spend a majority of your time doing? What are your hobbies?
I have a passion and an addiction to home transformation or renovation. Unfortunately,
if I could get paid to do any of this, like really paid, I would be gone. I love it.
Don't tell Kenton that.
Yeah,
he knows. He's not worried.
It's my husband is quite the wonderful soul for doing this with me, because I do challenge him.
So you're changing things in your house all the time, is what you're saying?
Yes. And
Okay.
actually since I've started real estate, I'm in my third house.
Oh, that's funny.
So the first house that we sold, we did small changes to, but it
Okay.
improved the price point. We're able to make a
course.
profit off of it. The second house was a 1979 wallpaper everywhere, original show home. It was the model home of the neighborhood.
Okay.
And we gutted the whole main floor and redid the whole
Good for
thing.
you. Yes.
And the only reason we sold it is because my husband really wanted a little bit more land. Not
Yes.
that we have a lot of land. We have 1.5 acres, but we weren't in a neighborhood anymore.
Nice.
So we've done all of that. When my daughter was at WSU, we helped her buy a house. We renovated it. A couple of her and her friends stayed there. Then we sold it. It was a very small project, but it taught us a lot. And now we're working on a home in Hayes for my son. And
That's great.
my phone is exploding right now from the contractor that's there right now trying
Yes.
to work on the heating and air. So,
Okay.
So we're supposed to be there this weekend, but we don't know if we'll have heat. So
Okay.
we shall see. So
What
working, they're replacing it.
Was it broke?
It was broke.
Like a piece was broke?
No.
I know your agent, and there might be coverage here, so I'm just asking.
No, actually,
Always working. I love it. Always working.
It's the original unit to the house, so it's 43
Yeah,
years
Okay.
that would be
It's
wear
time-
and tear.
time to
Yeah.
retire.
That would be wear and tear. They're not going to cover it.
No, they're
That's
not.
good to know.
I
So
wish.
does your husband need to worry about you coming home saying, I showed some clients a house, they're not going for it, but I think we ought to move? Is that always a risk that he has to live with every day?
Always.
It is. So that's his PTSD.
He has to have somewhere to park all
Always.
those nice cars, though.
Well, I'm going to say my husband and Blake have their own relationship because there are oftentimes my husband will call Blake and say, hey, if I bought this car, how much is the
Insurance.
insurance going to be?
So-
And don't
Yeah.
tell Rhonda.
Yeah. I'm not going to
That's
throw him
not
under.
fair. That is not fair of him to
He
do that to
must
you.
have divulged that, because I would never throw the man under the bus.
No.
Good
But
man.
I can tell you, he asks a
Bro code.
lot of questions to make sure how deep he needs to dig for this one,
Okay.
like what he needs to do. So
Yeah.
we kind of,
How much does he want? What's the risk?
Exactly.
Well, there you go. So you might come home saying we need a new house, and he might come home saying, I think we need a new car. That's all
Always.
right. Fair. It's balance. I like it. It's the ebb and flow of marriage.
It
It's
is.
perfect. Okay. What is a purchase of $100 or less that you've made that has been really impactful to you?
That's a hard question.
I know. This question's coming to you too.
I
So
got to think.
I know. So think on it.
So books,
Yes.
certain books, Winning by Tim Grover.
Okay.
I really had a great impact on me, and then I bought it for my kids who are both competitive and into sports.
Yeah.
But I got to thinking, and I was like, we've moved 3 times since I started real estate, and I'm always trying to figure out the existing landscaping of the yard. So I had a handyman turn me on to an app called Picture This,
Okay.
and you take a snapshot of the plant or the tree or whatever, and it'll tell you what it is, when it blooms, how to take care of it.
I love this.
It's fantastic. And I use it
What a
with my
great app.
clients too. So if we're at a house and they go, I wonder what kind of tree that is. Oh, I can tell you.
And so this is a paid app.
It's a paid app.
This is why I asked
like,
this question. You get hacks like this.
yeah, $32 a year.
Picture this. Okay.
You can do more things with it, but I haven't.
So it's not just for like plants. It's for anything.
I think it's just for vegetation.
Okay. Got it.
But they
That's
can
pretty cool.
help you lay out your whole landscaping.
Okay.
And I don't know why they call it Picture This,
But all those green thumbs out there, spring is about here. It's a little too cold to go to like the plant shop right now and get outdoor things, but it's right around the corner. Okay, that's good. $100 or less. It could be for the kids. It could be for whatever.
That changed my life.
Yeah, something that's been really impactful. Usually it's a book
See,
or it's a tool.
I don't read.
That's all right. You've got a lot of kids and you're coaching a lot.
Hey, that's a good excuse. I don't read.
Is there like a whistle, like a really
So,
good
no.
coach tool or something?
I was thinking about it while she's talking, and the first thing would be Natter Days. I mean, it's $30 for 30 of those beers, and they're delicious. Changed my life. Like
Okay. All right.
I'll agree with that. Those are good.
I mean,
All right.
cheap alternative.
I'm a Mike's Hard Lemonade kind of girl.
The sweetness, and I'm holding the pink beer as it is. At least it's beer.
Yeah, you're a big guy. You can defend yourself if someone's going to make fun of it.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about that. No.
But I thought shoes, because I love shoes.
Yes.
They change my life every time I buy a pair. I mean, it's like a big deal.
Yeah, you're a clothes horse.
But maybe, what's the name of it? Those, like for Christmas, I got Kenton a portrait. It's his head, and it looks like a legitimate painting, but it's a king, and he's got like.
Oh yes,
have you seen those?
I do those for like the dogs, like my animals.
Yes,
yeah. You like do Game of Thrones.
Yes, I don't know. I can't think of the site, but the old president.
I feel like Kenton needs a bobblehead.
Next, that is you hit it.
Yeah.
I got 3 weeks. You said.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
Kenton's not. Kenton, you're not going to listen to this. I already know you're too busy. He'll watch the 60-second short.
He hired me and sent me to do the talking.
That's right. I know. If I can't get an answer from Kenton, I know I'm going to Blake.
Right, because he's like Oz. He likes to be behind the snes.
Yes, I know.
Send me out to your.
He's very humble.
Yeah,
he's
for
great.
Sure.
So talk to us a little bit. Let's let the real estate industry know what you're doing outside of working, what you're doing with your time, a little bit about your history. You want to touch on your daughter, whatever that looks like. Let's teach them a little bit about you personally. All
right. Like I said, I played college football and went to school to be a teacher and a coach. So that was the game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Just, the most influential people in my life at that time, I would say, were coaches. And then my uncle said, insurance is a competitive sport, if you will. He hires athletes. The harder you work, the more you make. If you need to be off, you can be off. And it's kind of this freedom.
Yes.
Which isn't. I think once that's 15 years ago. I think it's kind of a pipe dream to think.
Well, we've got these with us all the time, so it's pretty constant. But
that's why I got into it. And I always sold life insurance from the get-go. That's the part of that sitting down at the table and going through the whole thing. And I believed in it because whoever's supporting that family, I mean, there's an obligation there, in my opinion.
Yes.
And that's when we were building our family. And so we had our first daughter, Paxton.
Yes.
And at 9 months, we noticed like petechiae, red dots on her arms, and some things like that. And then blood in her stool. But she's just a normal baby.
Just a baby, yeah.
Yeah. And so we, at that point, decided to go to the emergency room. Long story short, told us I thought she was anemic, diagnosed with leukemia. And then shortly before her second birthday, she lost that battle.
Yeah.
And just to stick to the insurance side and try not to get emotional, been blessed, had, 3 more kids and a lot of good things. Obviously,
yes, you have a very beautiful Libby family.
And Wells and Nevy. I got 4 years old. Quarantine happened. I thought I was done. 3 girls, girl dad, I'm here for it. Then this little boy comes out.
Yeah.
And he is a boy.
Yes, good. You need that. You needed that.
But that sold me. For me to be able to, at that point, to say, hey, I've got 15 to 20 grand to do the things I need to do to take care of my daughter at this point.
Yeah.
Which final expenses showed me the value. I believed in it, so I bought it. My whole goal was to get, annuity, variable annuity for her that grew. And so in her early 20s, mid 20s, there's cash value there to give to her.
Yeah.
Or
to
the
start
policy.
Out being an adult.
Whatever. Yeah. So it's just so important because life's hard.
That's right. You never would have guessed in a million years that you would have experienced that.
Nothing like that. Right. No, life happens. It's hard, and I have this conversation, and I guess it helps because I mean it.
That's right. It's your testimony.
It's from experience,
and that's so powerful.
People are having their first kids, or they don't have kids. I mean, there's so many situations, but I will bring it up, and I'll say, everything's going to be great. Your baby's beautiful, but if something happened,
yep.
or your spouse and your kids were in a car or whatever, what of that income is going to keep you afloat because they don't want to leave you here.
That's right.
Well, I say, they say it's the love contract too, life insurance, right?
Yeah.
And I'd never go that way, but it's like, if you really did love these people,
you don't want to leave them in a bad position.
Dead, and then you're forcing in say my situation, your bride to quickly kind of have to find somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah. It's tough for sure. I mean, and that's a beautiful thing that you can share that story and be like, this is why it's so important for life insurance. And no one can argue that. And it's huge. And it feels weird, especially for me when I took an insurance policy out on my son. because you never know. You just never know.
Yeah, I had
Whether
that
they're 2 years or
conversation with
17.
you. I think even when we were talking about your stuff. Yeah,
We did. And that's very powerful. And it's, you're not just there working a job. Like you're doing it because you believe in it. And that's,
life, everything, as you get older, I feel like we're young.
I know we're still young. I don't like this age.
But when I
aging
was
sucks.
like 20, I'm like, them 40-year-olds. Woo.
I know. Yeah. No, you think you're naive. You think none of that stuff,
but
you are naive.
You learn so much. And so that's another thing I was able to bring to a job that, deductibles and all that stuff doesn't excite me.
Right.
But being able to get that check to that family that day when they don't know what they're going to do.
That's right.
It does excite me.
That keeps you going.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen to anybody, but.
Yeah, but it's going to happen, and you've got your heart in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. And I think people know that. That's very good. All right. This is usually a question that people would assume they know the answer to, but I like to ask it anyways because I get surprised sometimes. But if you had a billboard in town, what would it say, and where would you want it to be? And that question's coming to you too.
I like that you ask her first every time.
No pressure. No pressure. I was thinking about this a little bit this morning because you kind of gave me a little preview of it. I think, I would love to advertise myself, but I don't toot my own horn a lot.
I know that. You are very humble.
Actually, I would like to just encourage everybody to pay positivity forward. Yeah. I think there's so many people that are engrossed in their own life so much, and they have this impact on everybody that's around them, whether they just have this brief interaction or maybe it's a month-long interaction that they're working with a real estate agent and going through that transaction. So I think paying some positivity forward to your fellow person can really change somebody's day.
Makes a difference.
Right.
I like that.
Be a good human, just throw it up there.
Be a good
That's
human.
right. Be a good human.
Yeah.
All right. What would your billboard say?
Well, following that up, I'm probably going to lose because I'm going to throw some Wheat State out there. And she was just so kind-hearted.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
He's making it competitive.
So, I'm sitting here thinking
he's
all
a coach. Of course, it's going to be competitive.
I go up and down I-35 or 35.
Yes.
Straight shot. So anywhere on that run, you put, let us cover your assets.
Yes, I know. You've got some of the best ads in the publication. You guys are cheeky. You're not afraid to go out there. And I love that because it stands out and it shows that insurance doesn't have to be boring or mundane or just taking lots of money. Like there's heart, there's fun, there's personality behind it.
Yes,
it can be.
Kenton and our marketing director Jill, Bistopia, shout out.
Yes, Jill's awesome. I love seeing her ads.
And they'll have pictures. They'll send me or Kenton a picture. We'll look at it and we'll come up with something. But why not have fun with stuff? Like who wants to read
boring copy? I agree. I know it's going to be good when I see Ken come across my phone, and I know that most likely this is going to be like, Sam, is this going to be an okay ad? And I'm like 100% yes. Let's do it.
He sets me up because then you have these big events and things like this, and Ken doesn't go. He sends me. So I walk in the door to that beautiful home we were at.
And you're the Wheat State guy.
And I'm the Wheat State guy because what did that one say? It was...
There's some good ones.
It is a good one.
There's some really good ones.
I don't know what the appropriateness of this is.
That's okay. It's like PG-13-ish plus. I don't know.
Yeah, a little plus.
Yeah.
Innuendos.
Yes. It gets your attention. I mean, when you're a realtor and you're reading it, like you want to chuckle. You need some comic relief. You're dealing with, you're putting out all your own fires every day. So I'm a fan. And no one's gotten mad, or at least they haven't told me. So.
Well, it could be a good conversation starter too.
Is. And I mean, and like you're going to have fun when you visit with these guys. Right. It's not going to be all business.
No, Rowdy comes in there and.
That's right.
It's always something. And we've done group fundraiser things we've done together.
Right.
We have a referral program. So even if you refer somebody to us and we quote them, you're going to get a gift card, and then we're going to match that gift card to whatever the group organization is for that quarter of the year. What was it that we were?
I love that gift back.
So ICTSOS.
Yes.
And actually, we're doing a shred event. It'll be pretty close to when this airs, I think.
Oh, good.
April 8th at Wheat State in Derby.
Okay.
So we're going to tell the community, bring your shredding documents, and then we're going to collect things that
What a blessing.
ICT-SOS needs
Yeah.
to give
Instead
out.
of paying to get your stuff shredded, go and donate stuff as you bring your
Exactly.
stuff. Oh,
Exactly.
You got to let me know so we can shout that out.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Social.
this will be year 2
Yeah.
at Wheat State. So
That's cool.
yeah, I'm excited.
But that makes
I
it
do. I
fun
love
too,
that.
because
You're helping the community. I
you're
mean, it's a win-win-win.
everything we do is, we try to help people.
Yeah, you
I don't
are.
know what people think we do, but
Yeah.
it also makes it worth it. I don't know. I mean, if
Yeah.
I'm getting up every day just to get a paycheck,
No, you can't do that long term.
It's not my.
No, I agree.
And most I say salespeople, but like you're a salesperson. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just you have that social.
There has to be a mission. There has to be some heart.
There has to be a reason behind it that you really care about, and we get the opportunity to do that. And that's another reason I think we've connected so well is because she will push us to do stuff. We try to throw stuff back at her, and it's a win-win in every situation so far.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's
I love
always
that.
a lot of fun too.
Good job giving back, guys. That makes my heart good. All right. So let's wrap up here with a little bit of some would you rather questions, a little bit of speed round. You can give your explanation.
Go that way first.
Okay. All right. Would you rather go? I'm going to change this question up. So Troy's going to be like, what? Would you rather go to jail for a month or go to jail with a Rubik's Cube and not leave until it's done?
Rubik's Cube.
Yeah. You're going to give it a try?
Yeah.
And there's some people that can do it in 60 seconds, and that's super
what-
annoying. But I'm not.
Kenton's son has this ability. Like, I twisted it, everything I could for
Yeah.
like 5 minutes, and he
Yeah.
grabbed it, and it was literally like 45 seconds. It was
I know.
done.
Yeah. Troy's kids can do the same.
I think before a month, I could figure that thing out.
I would
but
think so,
I'm
too.
not positive. I'm
I know.
really not.
You know,
If
max
I
you're there
couldn't
30
figure
days.
it out in a
Yeah.
month, I deserve to stay in jail.
That's the problem. Like, okay, so if the month ends and we did the first, are we there till we? Oh, you're there till you finish.
No, you're
the
either
thing.
there for 30 days or you're there, you can walk in, do it, walk right out.
I'm gonna.
It's just a fun question.
know.
Because I can't do a Rubik's Cube. I mean, if I wanted to pour my energy into that, I could, but I've got
I was thinking
clients to
you
live
get
on and realtors to meet. So there's,
the amount of rest I could get a month though. Like that's not. It's a kind of appealing.
I know. Yeah. You'd have food, you'd have shelter. I know there's some win-wins there. You could read some books, sleep. It's fine. Learn how to plank for 10 minutes straight. Would you rather live in a sailboat or an RV?
RV, the water thing. I don't think could.
The water thing.
I agree with the RV.
The RV. Okay,
Yeah.
fair. Would you rather be able to go back in time or tell the future?
Lord, in my life, back in time make a big difference.
Yeah.
I want to be handicapped, but
Yeah.
do you change? Yeah, I guess you.
Maybe.
No, because I
I
don't
don't-
really want things different either.
Yeah, I know, because all of the trouble and then the
I
strife.
think I gotta go to. You said just see the future, right?
Just see the
Know
future.
it. Yeah, I'm probably.
Yeah.
I
Figure
don't
out when
know,
interest
but then
rates are
what-
going down
That's
again.
not good either, because then it's like I could die tomorrow and then I know it.
Yeah, that would suck. And that's why these questions we get too deep. I need to make new questions.
Can we just go back in time? No, I can't. There's no good answer for this.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
don't-
You can just say neither. NA.
I'll go back in time.
Back in time.
They're just people that I would want to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spend some time with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Redo.
That's
Okay.
a great point, though.
Yeah.
What do you miss? You miss time. Like time's one thing you can't get back.
That's right. It's
And
our
I
most
mean, I look at my kids like that already. in 10
important
months,
attribute. I know. Oh, hold on. They
Very
get
fast.
lost
Oh,
very
I
fast.
know you guys got a little bit older children.
A new build or 100-year-old home?
Oh, new build. I think we built 3, and
Okay.
I'm ready for another one.
Uh-oh.
Well, I mean, we can't
You-
afford it or anything. But
You and Rhonda have the same house problem.
that's what I'm telling you. I just redid the deck. I've painted through my house. Like I've done
Yeah.
so much stuff. It's so fun. I've helped like design the homes the last 2 we built. And
Yeah.
I just love it, but you can't just jump in and make money designing homes. There's so many out there. It's like,
Yeah. Well, that's when you're ready. You know a good realtor. to
Oh, I
list.
know. Yeah.
Which would you prefer?
A renovated 100-year-old.
I get that answer a lot. I do. I get that answer a lot. That's okay. Would you rather have cats or dogs?
I have had both,
Yes.
and there are advantages and disadvantages to both.
Yes.
So I'll let Blake answer that one.
You know those dads that anytime their girls look at mass or something,
Yes.
it's a yes.
Yeah, that's you.
I think we've had 5 or 6 cats, but we have none now. It's like they're great kittens. I love kittens. They don't shed. They're good. And
Yeah.
then the older they get, it's just like now their hair's everywhere. They're inviting friends to the house. I mean, but our dogs, this little.
Is this a sore subject? I feel like this is a sore subject.
Like I know dogs are supposed to bark, but it barks everything that thinks is at the front door or
Yes.
drives by or anything
Bark
else.
collars.
Tried it next too little, and I feel. See, that's the thing I feel. So when nobody's looking, I'll be really nice to Coco.
Okay.
But if you ask them, they don't think I like it.
The secret's out. Yeah. You're a softie. And we all
So
know
both, I
that you're a
guess.
big
I love
teddy bear,
both.
Blake.
I just, it's,
All right, guys. Well, that's about it. Thank you so much, Blake, for
having
taking
us,
time
yeah.
out of your schedule. And Rhonda, thank you also for visiting with us. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I always enjoy spending
Yeah, it was
time
fun.
and getting to know you. So that's a wrap, guys. Be sure to subscribe to our Beyond the Pages podcast here on YouTube and follow us on Apple or on Spotify, wherever you consume your podcasts. And we'll see you next time.
true crime next.